Hello dear students, good morning. Today we will continue with our chapter number 9 from Civics, Fundamental Rights, Fundamental Duties and Directive Principles of State Policy. In last video we had discussed about human rights, what is human rights, when it is celebrated, some fundamental rights, which fundamental rights are given for the protection and stability of the nation, of the citizens, freedom and democracy. And in that we had discussed right to equality and right to freedom. Today we will discuss about more rights which are given to us, and in that the third right is right against exploitation. Now exploitation means शोषण. तो जहाँ कहीं भी आपका शोषण हो रहा हो तो उसका विरोध करने के लिए आपको कुछ राइट्स दिए गए हैं. Now what is there in this right? Let's see. So these rights safeguards women and children and other against exploitations of various forms. So where the women and children are exploited by someone or in any forms, so these rights protects them from exploitation or against exploitations. This right ensure protection against any exploitations like forced labor, low wages compared to the standard wages, working in an unhygienic and unsafe environment, child labor, etc. Under this right to exploitation, one cannot be biased for carrying out state welfare works, military services, social services, etc. on the ground of their religion and caste and gender or creed. Now the fourth is right to freedom of religion. So as you all know that in India we are not following only one religion. There are many religions in India: Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Christians, Parsis, etc. etc. Many religions are there in India. So India does not have any one national religion. India don't have any national religion, and also it does not follow the ideals or principles of any particular religion. The right to freedom against religion says that every person is equally permitted to enjoy the freedom his conscience permits and has the right to acknowledge, practice and spread his religion. There are certain restrictions to put on this right to maintain public law and order, morality and peace in the country. People are free to conduct and run religious affairs. This includes the freedom to establish and maintain charitable institutions, to manage religious affairs and acquire and manage movable and immovable property for religious purposes without going against the law. So, right to freedom protects us any kind of restrictions put on us by any religious group. Now, the fifth one is cultural and educational rights. Now, what is there in this right? So, these rights allows a person, whether belonging to minority or majority, to maintain its cultural and obtain education about his culture and religion. Under cultural and educational rights, any citizen can get admission in educational institution or granted institution without getting discriminated on the ground of religion, caste, creed or language. The Indian Constitution also states the religious and language minority groups will have the right to administer and start their own educational institute. As well as this right also allows the states, it is also states that no minority other than the one suggested in article will have the rights to establish any institution. Now, the sixth right which is given to us is right to constitutional remedies. Now, what is there in right to constitutional remedies? So, right to constitutional remedies is a special feature of our constitution. It is a special feature of our constitution, and this right provides an opportunity to the citizens to approach court in case of violation of their fundamental rights. If any citizen's fundamental rights are violated by someone, or someone oppose the person who is experience their rights, enjoying their rights, so he or she can go to the court, or we can say she or he can approach the court in these cases. Dr. Ambedkar considered this right as the soul of the constitution. Now, if the question is asked which right is considered as a soul of the constitution, then you can write right to the constitutional remedies is the right soul of the constitution. Or in case of any fundamental right of a person is violated, he can make use of right, that is right to constitutional remedies, and seek justice from the court of law. If the court finds that the fundamental rights of a person is violated, it can issue a writ, that is legal notice, to the one of who is depriving a persons of this right. Now, we will discuss about fundamental duties. Now, what are the importance of fundamental duties? Why the fundamental duties are given to us? So, the people of India were more aware of their right and duties since ancient time, and just as the citizens are given fundamental rights, various fundamental duties were incorporated by Constitution Amendment in 1976. So, along with fundamental rights, fundamental duties were given by the Constitutional Amendment in 1976. 6. Now, what is fundamental duties? So, the fundamental duty aims to include love for nation integrity, various high ideals, and value awareness among its citizens. And for the development of nation, these along with fundamental rights, fundamental duties are necessary, and every citizen of India should contribute for the protection of nation's unity, integrity, and sovereignty. Now, which are the fundamental duties? So, when you open your book, on the first page of the of your textbook, our fundamental duties are given. Now, which are the fundamental duties? I am going to read the fundamental duties which are given us by the government as per the constitutional amendment in 1976. To abide by and respect the constitution, the national flag, and the national anthem. Means we have to respect our national flag and national anthem. To cherish and follow the noble ideas of our national freedom struggle. Means whatever the ideals, whatever the ideas, or if any inspirational thing was there which was given by our freedom fighters during freedom struggle for freedom, we have to cherish them. We don't insult those ideals. To uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity, and integrity of India. Means we have to uphold, or we can say we have to take care of the sovereignty, unity, and integrity of the India. We have to protect our nation's unity, integrity, and sovereignty. To defend the country and render national service when called upon to do so. So, to defend the country and render. So, whenever nation needs your help, you have to be ready for the help for the nation's defend, for the protection of our country. So, in any kind of national service, whether it is during the time of flood, during the time of earthquake, or any natural calamities, during the time of man-made calamities, we have to be ready for our to give our services. To promote common brotherhood, or to promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood amongst all people of India, transcending religious, linguistic, and regional or sectional diversities, to renounce practices derogatory to the dignity of woman. Means we have to respect women, we have to respect our neighbors, we have to maintain the idea of brotherhood. We do not discriminate our citizens, or we can our neighbors, on the basis of religion, linguistic, or any regional or sectional diversities. The value and preserve the rich heritage of nation's composite culture. Means we have to preserve, conserve, and we have to be value, we have to respect our natural or cultural heritage of our nation. To protect and improve the natural environment, including forests, lakes, rivers, and wildlife, and to have compassion for living creatures. Means we have to protect and conserve all the natural resources of our nations, whether they are wildlife, whether it is related drainage system, whether it is related natural vegetation. We have to protect and conserve our natural environment. To develop the scientific temper, humanism, and the spirit of inquiry and reform. Means we have to develop our science, we have to develop humanism and the spirit of inquiry and reform. Whenever the reforms are necessary, we have to support the government. If the governments are supports, if the governments are made any reforms. The next one is to safeguard public property and to abjure violence. Means we have to protect our public properties. Now, which are public properties? The public property means which is used by the public, whether it is garden, whether it is state transportation, railways, aeroplanes, autos, bus stations. These all are our national, or we can say public property. We have to protect them, safeguard them. Sometimes what happen, if the any riots are there, many people are lead them, or we can say burns the our public properties, and the government has to pay for that. To strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activity, so that the nation constantly rises to higher levels and endeavor and achievement. Means in all the field of excellence where there is a talk about the development of our nation, we have to support the nation and the ideals of the nations. Who is a parent or guardian to provide opportunities for education to his child, or as the case may be, war between the age of 6 and 14 years. Means we have to provide opportunity for the education to the child who is between the age of 6 to 14 years, in whether he is from minor community or major community. So 6 January is celebrated as fundamental duties of India. Underline this line because this can be asked you in a one sentence question, or in a blank, or in MCQ. So 6 January is celebrated as a fundamental duties in India. So these are the duties which are given us by the government as per the constitutional amendment in 1976. So till here we see today. In next video we will discuss about directive principles of state policy. Till that, thank you. Have a nice day.